right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Good morning, Stuart, Florida. Good morning, Treasure Coast. Good morning, the world. Because we are streaming live right here out of WSTU.com. You can also see this on my Facebook, SlimBodyLaserSpa.com. I have a Facebook Live. And of course, the audio will be as a podcast on my website, DrTreadSlimBodyLaserSpa.com. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in and taking the time out of your day to listen to my radio show. Been going on probably 10 years now without fail. I have to say, of all of the tasks that I have to do to maintain my practice and my life and the things I enjoy, I could probably do this every day for hours. I have this ability to gab. I like to talk. And I think with all the experiences I've been through, my own life and business, and as a natural healthcare practitioner for over 33 years, and growing up in a naturally holistic based family. My father was a chiropractor for 50 years before I even got out of college. He'd already been in practice 50 years. My mom was juicing back when juicing wasn't cool, I like to say. She raised all of her children. She breastfed all of her children. One of my family members was born at home naturally with a natural birth. We were never given antibiotics as children unless we were sick. I mean, really needed it, but not for the normal stuff that many people take antibiotics. My dad adjusted me. He took care of me. He adjusted my subluxations. I had no idea what he was doing, but it's healing, it's health, and it's natural based. So I'm kind of a skeptic, not a skeptic. I'm a realist when it comes to medicine and the allopathic model. And I have a lot of apprehension when it comes to taking pills and chemicals and medications for health issues. I really believe that medicine and pills and injections and vaccinations are really done to people who haven't taken care of their health, haven't paid the price to maintain a better, healthy personality and healthy body, because they're violating simple laws of nutrition and exercise and rest and recuperation, and also cleanliness, sanitation. When you violate those laws consistently over time, you develop an unhealthy body. You develop a body which is vulnerable and to sickness, to bacteria, to viruses, to needing hip replacements and knee replacements. And medicine is happy to oblige. They even make sure that you're covered with insurance, so you can pay for these things when the time comes. So just because you have great health insurance doesn't mean it's a great idea to use your health insurance. It's something that I take very seriously. So my message on the Slim Body Laser Spa is about healing and health and wellness, and with an emphasis on how today's medical lasers, non-invasive lasers, therapeutic lasers, are being used to help people to look better, to feel better, to recover from injuries, to help with neuropathy. And now they're being used to help people with brain disorders, with brain functional problems, cognitive decline, memory problems, anxiety problems, Parkinson's, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. We're talking all traumatic brain injuries when you have a head injury and your brain suffers. So the talk today is going to be about your brain, the organ called your brain. And doesn't get the same amount of attention that the heart gets when it comes to educating people on how to strengthen the heart or your digestive system, your tummy and all the things about foods and things to help with your colon. Your muscles get more energy, your kidneys get a lot more attention. Well, let me tell you, without the brain, nothing functions. The brain is key. It's critically important. I remember learning many, many years ago, one of my mom's favorite things to say if we were to go out and drink alcohol when I was younger, she'd say, the only thing you have is your brain, Someday you're going to grow up and your looks are going to go down. You're not going to be as popular. Your muscles might not be as strong. And you want to make sure that you protect your brain. So why would you put a chemical, a drug, something into it that could possibly create a brain issue? And she was absolutely right. I thought we were bulletproof back then, but I realized today, as I go around with people and I look at the situation, and there's a lot of dementia, a lot of cognitive problems. It shows up as gait issues when people have brain fog and trauma. They shuffle when they walk. You can see they start to lose their balance very easily. They're not getting the same amount of feedback into the body, which controls everything as someone who's more youthful. And your brain is an organ just like your muscles and like your heart, and it needs blood circulation. It needs nutrition. It needs to be challenged. It needs exercise, and it needs a healthy environment spiritually and also physically. So my office, what I'm doing is I'm using a low-level laser red light, which is called photobiomodulation, to help shrink and reduce belly fat. And the same red light that we're using to do that, when applied to the skull around your head, is actually treats the brain with photonic energy, and it can help heal, and it can help increase the brain's ability to get rid of toxins, to get nutrition, and to basically make it stronger and better at functioning with these red light photonic energy devices. And I will go into them in more detail. If you're interested in a consultation, and just to summarize really quick, we have these belts. They're red light belts. They look like a weightlifter's belt. They're about 8 inches high. They wrap around your belly, and you have Velcro straps. Within it are red and near infrared diodes, and red light is 628 nanometers. That just means the color. And the near infrared is the wavelength that you can't see, that comes from the sun. It's infrared. And these two wavelengths are really, really beneficial when it comes to tissue healing, tissue repair, the ability to create stem cell production from bone marrow. They use red light to help increase stem cell production. They're also using these red light and near infrared light to improve what they call angiogenesis, meaning new blood vessel formation. They're also used to regrow neuronal connections can be improved and reconnected by the application of red light. And they've done this in labs where they've taken neurons, which are nerve cells in your brain. And when they apply the light to them in a medium that allows them to grow, they will extend their neurons when the light is applied, meaning it increases. And then if you can increase those neurons, then they connect together, and there's a chance you can actually get feeling back. It can help with neuropathy because of the simple application of red and near infrared light sources. And they come in many, many different modalities. There's belts, there's caps, there's big red panels that you can stand in front of. There's red light and near infrared light beds now. They look like a tanning bed, and you can lay inside and it clamps down over you, so you get this red light. And I would never have thought 11 years ago when I bought my Lapex BCS lipo laser, which is basically a red light laser, which penetrates into the tissue to help to open up the fat cells so you can burn the calories that the laser releases. So the lipo laser, you apply it directly to the area that you want to reduce, it's called the subcutaneous fat, the stuff you can squeeze between your fingers. And after 8 to 10 minutes of applying this laser device, these paddles, there's no heat, there's no burning, there's no sensation at all except the gentle warmth. What it does is it creates the fat cells to release the contents, to dump the contents within the tissue, within right where it's applied. And what it releases is water, glycerol, and free fatty acids. That's what's contained in your fat cells. And without the laser opening up those cells, you can't do it with diet and exercise alone without a lot of effort. I mean, Jillian Michaels effort, we're talking the kind of people that work out and jump up and down and, go to training centers to get rid of this outer layer. We can burn calories from the inside just by skipping meals and shrinking down on our calories and walking on the bridge, but when you're over 50 or 60 years old and you want to start targeting the outer compartment, the stuff which is hanging over your belt, the back fat, the double chin, the thighs that are rubbing together, the enlarged knees and cankles, you need help from outside the body. And then you need the body's nutrition and metabolism to burn those calories when they're released, because you can't just suck them off or drain them off. It's very dangerous. And so these red light lasers are applied to the areas that you want to shrink. 10 minutes, we move them to another area for 10 minutes, a third area for 10 minutes, so we can treat your whole abdomen, including the hips, the sides. And then there's 600 calories approximately have been released from the opening up of these fat cells by the laser. In order to get them out of the body efficiently, we use whole body vibration. And this is a plate that you stand on, and it moves up and down, shakes you side to side pretty quick, not violently. It's actually very gentle, and it's almost like a massage. It helps to strengthen muscles. It improves circulation. It helps with balance. It helps with producing happy hormones like serotonin and growth hormone. It lowers cortisol. It lowers the stress hormones. 10 minutes on a whole body vibration. And this is what we're utilizing to remove the calories and to get them out of the system within the 2-hour window that we have to work with. So it's 30 minutes on the laser. Well, actually, you come into the spa, you haven't eaten in 2 hours. You're getting hungry. You lay on your back, the laser's applied to the area you want to shrink, 30 minutes, and then you do 10 to 20 minutes on the stand on the whole body vibration plate. When you leave, you take 2 glasses of water and drink a lot of fresh water. Over the next 2 to 3 hours, you're going to burn off and remove those calories that the laser released. Every time you do the process, you're going to see a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch reduction in girth from one of 3 measurements, sometimes all 3, but from 3 measurements combined. Our program is 3 times a week for 3 weeks. That's 9 sessions. We're averaging 6 to 9 inches when combining those 3 measurements, and even as many as 12 and 15 inches. So if you want to know the girth difference, how many belt sizes, just divide the inch loss by 3. So a 6-inch loss divided by 3 is 2 inches, 2 inches in 3 spots. 9-inch loss is 3 inches in 3 spots. A 12-inch loss, which is what I used when I did the process in 2012, I was 265 pounds. I had a 40-inch belly. My blood sugar was uncontrollable. I was high with blood sugar, and I had all the symptoms of diabetes, from frequent urination to having some difficulty with my vision to the neuropathy in my feet. And I was only newly diagnosed within that year. And what I did, instead of running to the meds first, I lost the weight. I cleaned up my diet. I walked a little bit more. I was a little more active, nothing serious, no gym memberships, just being outside, walking at night sometimes. And using the laser was like the kickstart for me. It was the foundation that allowed me to be more compliant. I saw the results from the laser were so quick that I lost these inches that it made me desire to do the food part and to do the exercise part, because I didn't want to miss this opportunity. I didn't sometimes opportunities to change are really brief. That clamshell opens up for a moment and you can step through it. Otherwise it closes up again. You're not willing. So for me, the opening was my turning point. And the laser had everything to do with giving me that belief, that hope, and also those results that I could do I can do this quick, which is better than slow for me, at least. That's a whole nother story. But in other words, so in 3 weeks laying on my back, I lost 12 inches, approximately 12 inches. I did another week. So let's say we did the 12 sessions and I lost 4 inches of girth in that time frame. Listen, in 4 weeks, I went from a 40 waist to a 36 waist. I dropped 2 pant sizes. All the clothes I had didn't fit me anymore. I had some skinny guy clothes, but they were actually outdated because I don't wear corduroy jeans anymore or bell bottoms. That's how long ago it was that I was in a 36 or a 34-inch waist. And here I was 4 weeks after using the laser, and I'm wearing 36-inch pants, and I look and I feel better. My blood sugar was mucho improvado. I mean, I was much easier to manage. The symptoms of the urination subsided. My vision was still a little off. It took a couple weeks, months for that to clear up, because high blood sugar changes the convexity. It changes the lens of your eye. I didn't have diabetic retinopathy. The high blood sugar causes your lens, which is the clear part, the cornea, to swell a bit, and that's what gives you the blurry vision. And I wasn't aware of that. Dr. Brickhill, who's an optometrist, who I went to right away. That was one thing I went to the doctor for. You can walk on a wooden leg, but you cannot see through a glass eye. Anytime you're welding or you're grinding or you're cutting with a saw, and they tell you to wear those safety glasses, just remember that. My dad told me that. He said, I want you to protect your eye. He says, you know why? I said, well, obviously I don't want to hurt myself. He says, no. He says, you can't see through a glass. You can walk on a wooden leg, but you cannot see through a glass eye. And so eyes are really important, your vision. So I was happy. I go to Brickhill. He says, you know what? This is temporary. There's no retinal damage. You haven't affected your blood supply to your eye. He says, just keep losing the weight and exercise, and this will clear up. And boy, he was absolutely right. Now, as a result of that, as a result of my result and the realization that there's probably a lot of people in their 50s, borderline diabetic, hyperglycemic, dealing with newly diagnosed blood pressure, right? They're just now starting to take medications. 50 seems to be the time when we have to get on all these meds, 60s for sure. And I realized that I got to get this message out to people. I have this laser. I got 4 of them. I'm in a professional office. People can come in, but they don't know that it can help when you're really overweight or you have diabetes. They don't know. They thought it was just something that skinny mini girls that are doing it just to look better in a bathing suit or for aesthetic reasons. And it does have that property. It is used for that. But I took it a step farther, because as a doctor of chiropractic for 33 years, I know a lot about nutrition. I know a lot about, wellness. I am I'm a natural healthcare practitioner. I know about all the meds and how they affect your health and ways of getting off of medications. I can send for testing, MRIs. I have full blood work available if I need to. And what the laser did for us is it gives a person such a shot in the arm, a booster shot of health and inch loss, that they become super compliant to do the rest of the work it takes. And so that's one of the benefits of what we're doing at the Slim Body. So if you're overweight, if you're fat, if you're tired, if you're not feeling well, if you've been trying to muster the desire to make changes, weight loss has been difficult for you. You failed at the gyms. You see that you're on these meds and you don't like, hey, let me tell you, metformin and glucophage, if you're type 2, you have to you have a choice. It's either take the drugs and get diarrhea, or don't take the drugs, walk around with high blood sugar, and then your bowels will not, have diarrhea, because 50% of you out there that get put on metformin, it's just a constant problem with loose bowels. That's what metformin does. It's one of the main side effects of it. So I didn't want to deal with that. So I lost the weight, cleaned up my diet, and that was over 7 years ago. And I'm doing good, I rarely have to take the metformin. My diet, my diabetes did not go away. It still is there if I eat crappy food. If I go back to eating foods that are high in carbohydrates, if I go to eating processed foods, if I start having sodas and things, I feel it the next day. My blood, I must have done damage to my my pancreas or my liver and my ability to manage blood sugar, because I have to live very properly in order to keep my blood sugar under control. And that means lean proteins, not skipping meals, drinking plenty of fresh water, cutting out all sugar for me. I have to really be careful. I do it very sparingly. So I have a passion for it and I have the knowledge. And if you want to come in and talk to me about it, it's a free consultation. We do it right in the office. It's about 30 minutes. I go over your history, your symptoms. We watch the video on what the laser can do. And then I go over your what you're eating, how much you're exercising. I look at your meds, see where you are with it. You might be in the right place. You might be in the wrong place. But this is definitely a foundational experience. What we're going to do at the Slim Body Laser Spa is one of the foundations of health. And that would be nutrition, getting rid of the body fat, moving more. Okay. And then having hope, which is important. And when those 4 foundations are in place, then our body starts to heal. It repairs itself, and we don't need as much or as often as much meds as maybe we're on. We can maybe back off some of those meds. But if you don't make those other changes, then the meds are important. So at this point, we are definitely Treasure Coast's #1 laser slimming center. Nobody comes close. Hey, when you see those ads about people that are losing inches and they're using a machine to use magnetic pulsations to exercise the front of your stomach or your body under the hope that that's going to tone your midsection and create inch loss and get rid of body fat, you need to really look at that with a serious skepticism and think to yourself, is that possible? Could I really put something over my abdomen that uses an electrical pulsation to tighten and release the musculature artificially and not have some kind of possible injury damage to the organs, to the vessels? It's a pretty powerful pulse. And then they do this until you goes into a cramp. And then you're supposed to come back and do that again. and then again, and you're wanting to tighten your abdomen when you know, it would seem to me maybe if you're somebody that can't do a crunch or can't do a sit up, maybe it's an option, but to think it's going to lose inches to tighten, and you see the pictures that they show, you know that there's a lot more that was done besides that machine, you know, and yet you're dropping coins there, you know, you're dropping money, hoping it's going to create something that is going to be long lasting and, you know, as the same as if you were exercising and losing weight. And it doesn't really produce that. So there's a lot of unhappy people that go through that process. And, you know, the providers that do it typically don't tell you that because, you know, they say there's no guarantee. So at the Slim Body Laser Spa, I guarantee a 3-inch loss, money back after 9 sessions in 3 weeks. It's in writing. We take measurements. We take pictures. We repeat the measurements. We repeat the pictures. If we can't achieve at least an inch in girth in 3 spots, you know, I picked the wrong person. I didn't help you with food. There's something that I take responsibility in a way. And we sit down and we talk about what can we do? Can we do more visits? Can we recommend other services? And if it really comes to no resolution, we give you your money back. Ask these other offices if they offer a guarantee when they sell you a $3,000 or $4,000 or $6,000 aesthetic procedure that you'll be happy and you'll get a certain result. They will not give you a guarantee because a lot of times it doesn't work. So that's word to the wise. Yeah, we've been dealing with some competitors. I don't even think they're really competitors for us, but they've been printing things about laser lipo, which is not true. And I have to push back against that because when you come into the Slim Body Laser Spa, you'll see 350 to 400 signed 8x10 testimonials on the wall. They cover all of our walls all the way down to the bathroom. These are people, right, that live in the area. If you go to my website, Dr. Tread Slim Body Laser Spa, go to love letters or testimonials, and I have 60 of them on the website, and you can click each one as you scroll through them. It expands, and you can read what happened. You'll see their name. They sign it in handwriting, so this isn't a doctored fake document that was put in there. These are the picture of the person's face. We have releases to do this. I could put in another 200 if I needed to. You'll never see that at some of these other offices, these other places that are trying to tell you that you can lose inches and you can tone and sculpt without any diet or exercise. You're not going to see any guarantees. So now, free consultations, phone number 772-223-5885. I suggest you just use my name, drtread.com. Say it in your cell phone, type it into your computer. You might want to put Stuart behind it, possibly, but you're going to come up with all of my stuff online. I have a very, very unique name. It can't be stolen. It can't be branded by somebody else. And it's been a really win for me. I never would have thought that crazy name my mom gave me would be so important when it came to internet search, organic search. You know, there's a lot of Toms out there. There's probably even a lot of Evans, right? So, but it's not a lot of Evan 9s. So that's definitely unique to Evan. One of a kind, as he says. And you know, there's only one Dr. Tread. And when you do that, you will see hundreds and hundreds of testimonials, of videos of me explaining the process. You'll even go back to see some of my old days as a back cracking chiropractor when I had all those kids in the office and my family pictures. It's a lot of stuff in there. So thank you for tuning in. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Dr. Tread's Slim Body Laser Spa Health and Wellness Show. Now, I promised you about the brain. I want to get back to this because I am really, really excited that these red light machines I've been using for fat, this Lapex BCS lipo laser, it has a dual role and it can actually help you prevent dementia, Parkinson's disease, and other neurological disorders. And it can help people with traumatic brain injuries. Now, the Lapex BCS lipo laser is not designed for that, only because of the way the paddles work. We have 8 paddles that you apply to the skin. But the red light that comes out and the power is super, super beneficial for tissue healing, for tissue repair, and for activating tissue repair cycles. It heals damaged tissue. They use the red light and these near infrared light devices to help heal from diabetic ulcers. So if you have a bed sore and you have put this red light treatment every day to that area, as long as you're not, creating the problem again and again, these lasers show that they can close the wound faster by applying the red light to it. It's called granulocytic formation. That's the beginning of tissue healing. So, and there's no injury when you put the light on it. It's just, it almost seems like it's not going to do anything. But when you compare it to people that have not done the laser to people that do the lasers, they heal in half the time. They're also using it because it's biostimulatory. Now, the class of what we call it in medicine and in these offices, we're now calling it photobiomodulation, okay? It's not really being called laser energy anymore, or low-level laser, or LED. And this is because it's very confusing for people when they go online and they read about red light, because there's LEDs, which are not lasers, and then there's lasers, which use red light, but they're not LEDs. And everybody kind of takes sides. Like the laser guys don't believe in the LED guys don't believe in the laser guys. So the North American Low-Level Laser Conference came up with some new nomenclature, meaning they named it photobiomodulation. So that covers red lasers, green lasers, blue lasers, which all have beneficial effects on tissue. It also covers the LED spectrums, these LED devices, these panels, these belts, because they all use photons. That's where the photo comes from. Now, a photon is a packet of energy that basically has begun from the sun, right? I mean, energy is neither created nor destroyed. This is hard to believe this or imagine this, but the energy that's coming out of this thermonuclear reactor called our sun, that radiant energy is the basis building block of all of life, of everything that you've ever seen, touched, believed, what you are, what you've eaten, what you haven't eaten. It's all begins from light. And when light comes in and hits the minerals and hits the planet and hits the water and hits the bacterias, those light is absorbed by those plants and absorbed by these tissues in the form of photons. So the basic product of light, if you get down to what we can measure, is photon. And photons are what carry energy into the body and into tissue cells and also into plants to make starch, so we can then eat the plant and get the energy. Well, our bodies, our cellular structures, our systems are very responsive to photonic energy, but it can't be too much. It's kind of like if you need water and you're thirsty and somebody comes over with a fire hydrant and opens it up on you, it's too much. You can't drink that much water so fast. It'll kill you. But if they give it to you in a small amount, where you can sip it, you can get benefits from it. That's the same thing with light. If you sit out in the sun, you're going to get your dose of photonic energy in about 10 minutes in South Florida. If you're up north and you're farther away from the sun, you're going to have to be out there for maybe an hour or two because there's not as much light. So what science has done for us and for you is they have taken the spectrums of light, because the sun produces energy, but there's different colors, right? You look up and you see a rainbow. These are the colors that the visible spectrum. There's yellows and reds and greens and blues and purples. There's near infrared, infrared, and far infrared. Those are what we can see and feel. Each one of those colors have certain tissue. They can create tissue changes and help your body in certain ways. So they're finding out that green light is really good at erasing skin wrinkles, believe it or not. It seems to help with cellulite. The blue lights are more activating for neurological issues. And the red light and the near infrared light is the basis of all of these studies. And they can help skin, they can help tissue damage, they can help with healing, they can help with blood circulation. They're using the red light to help with regrowing hair. They're using it for, as we know in cold lasers, for reducing inflammation. It reduces pain when you apply it, and it doesn't have any side effect at all. And it's even starting to be covered by a lot of insurance, although that's still rare. So what they're finding is that your brain, to get back to the reason of the brain, you understand that the red light and near infrared, what happens is your brain, as people get older and they age, they have shown that the brain begins to atrophy. They do MRIs and they can see when you're 40 and 30 and 40, your brain is big and full of water and it has a lot of mass. And as you get older, it starts to shrink. And there's there's more space up there around the outside because the brain is actually shrunk. Not pygmy shrink, but compared to when you're 20 and 30, it shrinks. And it also suffers from circulatory problems. It needs lots of blood supply. 25% of the glucose that you burn during the day is utilized by your brain. Your brain is a really energy, it starves for energy, and it also uses fat as an energy source. So there's a lot of fat in people's brains because that's where you get the energy to power the brain, and also glucose. And then what happens is, as people start to age and they suffer from nutritional problems, which leads to arterial sclerotic plaque, clogging of the arteries, restrictions, impediments. And what happens is, just like your feet don't get enough blood supply, or your arm might not get enough blood supply, the brain suffers from a lack of blood supply. And it can be a cerebral artery, a bruit or a sound in the arteries, what's closing off the vertebral artery. There's only 4 big vessels that put blood to your brain. There's the 2 vertebral arteries, and you have your 2 cerebral arteries, but they can become clogged and they can have blocks. And then your brain is not getting enough blood supply. And when you don't have blood supply to the brain starts to become slower. It doesn't function as well. You have memory loss. You're having cognitive problems, problems with balance, problems with emotions. Your reptilian brain, the middle brain, which creates all of your, they call it the reptilian brain because it's hungry, it's cold, it's hot, it's angry, it's fights. This is what reptiles do. They have no ability to meter that. That's in your brain stem. The higher parts of your frontal cortex and your upper brain, these are the higher functions of your brain. And the frontal cortex moderates and shuts off the reptilian brain. It controls it. The frontal cortex says, wait a minute, this isn't good to get angry here. If I get angry here, I might end up in jail or hurting somebody or getting shot, right? The reptilian brain wants you to fight. It wants you to bite them. It wants you to run because it's survival. And your upper brain, your frontal cortex, is where you reason. It's where you have your memories. God, the last time I got angry, I remember that. I ended up in jail. So think about that. As you start to suffer with brain fog and dementia, which is a term for just cognitive problems, one of the factors that goes away is the ability to moderate and control your emotions, because the reptilian brain is not suffering from the blood supply problem that your upper brain suffers from. The upper brain around your skull is farther from the pump. So the midbrain and the brain stem, it has a lot more blood supply as the other one starts to prune away. So, one of the ways that you can help your brain to be better is to improve your health. Is by, eating foods which are real foods, eating lean proteins and vegetables and fresh fruits. You also want to, if you're not getting any supplementation, you need to supplement, and you'll improve your brain function. If you're older, and that would be a multi-mineral, a multivitamin, if that's all you can get. But there's other things, and they're called nootropics, nootropics, nootropics. And this is a classification of supplements and over-the-counter things and some prescription stuff which can help with brain function. One nootropic which is very popular is the ginkgo biloba. This is a herb which seems to help people with cognitive problems. So does ginseng. So does essential fatty acids, alpha omega 3 fatty acids help brain function because of the fat. The brain needs this extra energy. So does vitamin C, helps with brain fog, as does coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, because CoQ10 helps the body to carry more oxygen. Brain function is improved through deep diaphragmatic breathing exercises. We're not breathing anymore. As we get older, we have these little shallow breaths. They pant. And if you can work on opening up your lung field, dropping your diaphragm down, taking a deep breath and exercising those muscles, you're oxygenating your body. You're creating more oxygen in the blood cells, and that improves brain function. You can think better when you do that. Excuse me. The other thing which helps with brain function is anything that will improve your circulation. So, any kind of meds or anything you might be taking over the counter to help with blood circulation is really, really important when it comes to the brain. And that's because the circulation is affected. It affects the brain when you have bad circulation. So for harder circulation, you want to do CoQ10, which is an enzyme to increase the oxygen carrying capability. You also want to take some vitamin E. Vitamin E is very productive to blood vessels and cellular membranes. The omega-3 fatty acids, which I recommended, you want to take 2,000 micrograms 2 times per day, and it takes 2 to 3 months before you notice results from omega-3 fatty acids. You want to take the vitamin C, and you also want to increase water. When you have decreased water intake, you will suffer from brain fog. The brain requires a lot of water, and most of you are not drinking enough water. You think the coffee or the tea or the diet soda that you're getting is giving you the right amount of water. I can tell you it's not. You need free water. You want to do moderate daily exercise every day. You got to get that heart rate up. Again, you want to improve circulation. You also want to kind of focus on a plant-based diet. The closer you can do to real, organic, natural foods, the more nutrients you're going to get, the more energy you get, from the starches, from the sun, the better you're going to do. Brain also responds to sunlight, being outside, getting some fresh air. Now, there's a lot of research being done now on brain treatment with these red light devices. And that's what I'm going to wrap it up here with. You got about a few more minutes. So what they're finding is that these red light belts, which I have them in the office. If you're interested in coming in and seeing it and having a demonstration, I have no problem with that. They sell for $1,200, and they have infrared. There's actually 102 red light and near infrared diodes that are in this belt. And the belt is about, I don't know, 2 feet long. And what you can do is you can take the belt and wrap it around your head like a headband. And it's got a battery pack, or you can plug it into the wall, and then you turn it on for 10 to 20 to 30 minutes. It will not cause cancer. It does not create ionizing radiation. This is a safe, gentle red light. It's the same wavelength that you see in the morning when you first see the sun come up, or in the evening when the sun's going down. Those red light, you should be outside in the morning and the evening if you want to have better brain health, because that red light actually is absorbed through the skull, and your brain will utilize those photons, and it will help it to function at a higher level than just from the nutrition. So brains suffer from blood flow secondary to aging and unhealthy habits. And you can supplement your brain function by applying these red light devices directly to the head. So I've been doing it for over 4 months. I feel better. I wake up sometimes. I can't go back to sleep. I'm running through all my things I want to do. I have one of my belts. I put it around my head, cover my eyes because I don't want the red light when I'm trying to sleep, and I'll fall asleep with that on. It has a little timer, somewhere along the night, I knock it off the bed. I'll sit home in the daytime and I put it around my feet. It helps with neuropathy. I've had neuropathy since I was in my 30s. And I use the red light wrapped around the feet 10 to 20 minutes, and it helps heal. And it absolutely gets rid of the pain pretty quickly. But over time, it seems like I'm getting more feeling back. It also helps with healing of my toes and those stupid toenail problems that you get with neuropathy. You get the fungal issues. It helps with those. I'll also put it around my back, my lower back. I pulled a big anchor the other day and I kind of wrenched my back, and on the couch, I put that belt on. You can also use it for body fat, for getting rid of some of the outer fat, just like the laser does. It's a slimming belt too, but the neuroprotective aspect of these belts is what's really exciting. And you're going to see more and more of this as it comes out. I've seen it at the National Institutes of Health. They had a seminar, a workshop, where they literally had a bathing cap with these red lights in it. And they took the soldiers that have had traumatic brain injuries, they put the cap on them, they turn the light on, and their cognitive ability improves within minutes after having the light turned on. And then over time, so it doesn't cure the problem, but it treats the symptoms, and it's safe. So anyway, you've been listening to Dr. Tread's Slim Body Laser Spa. We're located on East Ocean Boulevard, right down the street from the Fresh Market, from the Hutchinson Island. If you want to get a free consultation, we're available. You just go drtread.com, leave a message on the website. I will get back to you. We'd love to help you out. I'll show you the red lights. I'll show you the fat laser, and maybe we can have something great happen. Thank you. See you next week.